Lucky I have a younger brother, so I can just be like, Mason's my younger brother, because that's what my younger brother did. He played fucking FNAF on his phone when he was in, like,
Right.
8th grade or whatever.
Yeah. The problem is
Yeah.
I am the younger brother.
No,
So
I'd go to
right.
basketball tournaments and everybody's playing FNAF or Clash Royale, and you picked one of the two in the like hour you had between games.
Some never grew out of either. You know,
True. Clash Royale is still an okay game, mediocre.
it is the one of the games of all time. That's for
It's
sure.
you know
play
what
it every day. I'll
of
play
the
it every
mobile
day.
games it's like pretty good.
Sure.
Actually, I have my clan war chest open. Check this out.
I'm a Jetpack Joyride guy myself, but you know.
And you know what? I have that one too.
Okay, fair enough.
Bloons Tower Defense is also a really good one. That game's still a banger.
And Mason, you're not gonna fucking believe this. I got that shit too.
Let's fucking go. I remember playing like Bloons Tower Defense like 2 on cool math games,
Yup.
and that shit was ass. But like,
Yeah.
then they came out with number 3, and it was a lot better.
Dude, 3 was the best. Well, actually, I think 5 was my favorite.
5 is the best one.
5
but,
is
like,
my favorite objective.
going from like Bloons Tower Defense like ultra mega beta version on cool math games to like Bloons Tower Defense 3 was like the greatest upgrade of all time.
No, I can agree.
Yeah.
I can agree.
I do think that 6 is really good, but it does piss me off because they don't have the balloon shipper in it. And I'm like, what the fuck did I play with that shit for in BTD 5 then if you're not gonna put in the 6th one?
Yep,
That shit is gas.
it is.
Anyway, my clan war chest,
Yeah.
I got Wizard, Arrows, Battle Healer, Electro Dragon. Half of those cards I already have maxed out.
Raz,
so.
what deck do you play?
God, I dabble.
I'm a connoisseur.
My main
when I
deck
used more
when I
Pico once.
was my main deck when I was like climbing Trophy Road was it was like a homebrew God, this shit was fucking weird. It was like a homebrew minor bats / bridge spam like hybrid deck. It was very strange. And of course there was Mega Knight in it because I was climbing Trophy
obviously.
Road. But nowadays it's like I played Fireball Bait for a while, and then I kind of moved away from that. I don't really know why. It was always very fun, and it's not very difficult. Right now, bait is like Mortar Bait is really strong, especially with the Hero Bowler that's out. So I'm playing that currently. Before that, I was playing like a Dark Prince Giant Skeleton Evo Pigs deck.
Okay.
That was fun. But yeah, I'm basically all over the place. If you looked at my numbers, you would assume that I was kind of good at the game, but actually, unfortunately, I'm not. I'm at max trophies, which is currently 14,000. And I am in Champion League and ranked. And so you would think that I'm half decent, but I get my ass beat constantly. So
Fair. I re-downloaded it like a few months ago, and I've played literally one deck since then.
Which deck
What
is
do you
that?
play?
Yeah, which deck is that?
Expo.
Oh.
fucking typical, dude. Of
Yeah, you're gonna be like, that makes sense.
I just want to let you
Yeah.
guys know I've been recording for about 4 minutes that you've been ranting
Perfect.
about Bloons Tower Defense and
That was Clash Royale.
Yeah, so
I was eating breakfast.
yeah, so I just I
Okay.
figured the viewers would want to know, that.
You spent $2.5 grand on Clash
Mason!
Royale?
Mason, and do you think that I said that as a message because for fun? Or do you think maybe I said that as a message because I didn't want it to be enshrined on the internet forever?
You said I need to be allowed to talk about this. I feel like that is valid.
Here's the truth. The game came out in 2016. It's been a decade.
Yeah.
I
So you're telling
cannot.
me you spent $250 a year on Clash Royale?
I fucking guess, man.
I-
All I know is that a friend of mine asked me how much I spent on the game. I said, I don't know. I would have to sit down in my bank app, adding up all of the tiny little transactions that I made over the past decade. And he said, okay, do that. And I said, bet. I went to the back of, I was at work. I went to the back of the box. I opened up my bank app. I wrote down all this stuff. I did all the math. I said it's $2,500. So
Nice.
That's a lot of money to spend on Clash Royale.
The thing
Yeah,
to
that's
me
what I'm
is
saying.
looking through 10 years of transactions would take me
Yes.
so long.
How did you
And I
do
got-
Like,
and
that?
I-
like the fact
and I
that you
was
were
getting
like
paid the whole time.
on a shift and you were like, hold on a minute, I'm gonna do a 45-minute side project real quick.
You gotta do that. Did you take
told
the
me to do
old
it.
like go take a really long shit tactic?
No,
No, that's
No,
what I would
I
do
mean-
when I worked at Target when I needed to do stuff. I would just like go in the bathroom and be like, "Oh, I was pooping. Like, what do you want from me?"
yeah, I did that at Chipotle a lot.
My
Because
God.
I was like, what do you expect me to take short shits? I'm eating at Chipotle.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but yeah, no, I literally just stood in the back and wrote this shit down.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, I
Yeah,
can't
it was
judge you that hard because I will have to admit that the amount of money I've spent on Fortnite probably exceeds that over the course of however many years.
Fun fact, I've been playing Fortnite since the very first season. I actually was teaching elementary school when the game came out. I did not
God.
know that Fortnite was about to explode, and I had a kid be like, Mr. L, do you play Fortnite? And I was like, yeah, me and my roommate tried that game this weekend, and I will tell you, I've never lost control of a classroom faster. Like the kids exploded. My teacher at the time didn't know what Fortnite was. It's crazy to think there was a period where an elementary school teacher didn't know what Fortnite was, and she was
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like she was like, "There's control has been lost. Get it back." And I was like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
and I got it back on track. I have been playing that game for so long. I have never spent a single dollar. I've never given
Same.
Epic my money. I have legit gotten enough V-Bucks to get a few battle passes I wanted. So I have gotten like the Marvel battle pass and a few other things. I've never gotten any skins, any emotes, anything. And I have a ton of friends that are now like getting into it for the first time and are spending all this money, and then they're like, Ryan, are you gonna, and I was like, the current battle pass sucks ass. So no.
It does.
I was like, no.
I haven't touched Fortnite
Now-
since I bought Ready or Not, to be honest.
Oh, actually,
Now,
I
sometimes
can check how much money I've spent on Fortnite because they have a website.
website. That's so
Give
funny.
me one more.
I keep seeing ads that's like, you'll be astonished how much. Or mom saw how much my Fortnite locker was worth, and she lost her shit. Like shit, like on like TikTok.
Now, sometimes I speak in hyperbole, but right now I'm being extremely genuine. I do have Fortnite, I do play it from time to time, and I am, in fact, the single worst Fortnite player of all time. And that's on God. I suck so bad at that game. It's unbelievable.
So what's the number? You found it.
We'll play a higher or lower game.
Higher, higher, higher.
Give me a number.
1,000.
2,500.
Higher, higher,
$5 grand,
higher,
10 grand,
lower,
Lower.
seven
Thank God.
7.5
Thank
grand,
God.
higher,
850?
9 grand.
lower than 9.
850.
It's $8,537 on Fortnite.
I don't feel like I won there. I feel like I lost.
Oh my god.
And conversely, I feel like I won.
I've paid them $0. I've been playing since launch.
Because it includes the Fortnite membership or whatever, and all the battle passes I've purchased, all the packages I've purchased, and that's over the course of a decade. Like lifetime purchases is $8,500. Welcome to Stupid Funny. We're back.
And we're doing great.
We're doing awesome. Some of us have wasted like a quarter of a salary's worth of money on Fortnite these days, but
Hey, between the two of us, it's been over 10 grand
that's true.
in video games.
That's
so.
true. Welcome back to the
Yes, we have to have wasted money on a lot of stupid shit, Mason. So like, if you have something, I don't have
even,
anything
like-
popping to mind.
Like the only thing I'm thinking of is like Pokemon cards, but like honestly, I haven't spent like that much money. A lot of my Pokemon cards came from me winning them and then selling them and then buying more. So like,
I'm such a tight ass. It came with being a musician. When I said I'm gonna be a musician, I can never spend money.
You inherently can't, right?
That's what that translated to. I was like, I'm not gonna become a drug addict of any kind too, because then I'd just be a fucking trope. So I don't.
Oh, speaking of our careers and our degrees, Mason's boring white ass played that shit exactly like an engineering major. He said, "Oh, we're playing a higher or lower game. How about I split the exact difference every single time?"
What the fuck do you mean? That's how you do higher or lower.
You're...
It's the most efficient way to do it.
I'm sure it is.
And my music major asked out the guests.
Good
so
God.
I just took your hard work and made it got the right answer, which is also how that works.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Stupid Funny.
God, welcome to the pod.
We're back at the pod. Today we've got Ryan, aka Piano Guy 27, aka Professor Ryan, aka
Lolan Ryan.
Yes. AKA go on, Raz.
Oh, me go
yeah,
on.
Go on, AKA.
AKA, did you already say Piano Guy 27?
Yeah, I did. That was the first one.
Listen, Ryan and I, we go way back.
Uh-huh.
Ryan and I are tight. So you'll have to excuse me if I don't know all the AKAs. I just call him Ryan because we're just tight like that, you know.
You could use my middle name. That's a fun one.
Which is
Aloysius.
AKA Aloysius. There it is.
Zoom tight.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, good thing I'm talking a lot about Germans today, so. So
and I suspect you are not the only one.
We'll see.
Mine has a little bit of Germans. There's just a few.
Yeah. We got Ryan on the pod, and we have Mason, aka MBoss, aka MBoss 11, aka the government, aka my bestest friend. Besides Raz, aka my twin, aka Wendigooner, aka Mr. Day, soon to be Mr. Day, man with the fiance.
True.
Congratulations again, by the way.
Yep, thank you. I also graduated. That was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Everything will every other achievement will be overshadowed by your engagement, though. I gotta be honest.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you graduated? Well, Ryan did that, and like, Dan, you know, I've met Pokemon players who've done that. But
I've met people who graduated college.
I've graduated twice, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, grow up, bro. You're not special.
Yeah. Well, let me go back and get a PhD. I gotta be special.
The catch is that Mason is like, yeah, I want to say Mason has like probably a 10-0 record on me in draft games, and then also he's engaged? Pick a fucking lane,
like, dude.
God!
Alright, Raz, I'll start throwing.
Thank you.
That would be preferable.
Please. I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't have to promise to throw, that's just what I am.
No, Ryan, you've also beat me every time.
Ryan, I can't remember the last time we were in a draft league together, to be honest.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
I want to play upcoming seasons. I mean, I should have the free time, so I'm hoping with the new job. So I'm hoping to be able to play a little bit more. I won Sandbox, so right now I'm also like, hey, I have a win, my first big champ.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh damn, like next time I play, there's like an expectation. And I fucking hate I hate this dog ass champions format a little bit. It's fun, but I also hate it. I'm like, oh man, I actually A, miss Terra more than I thought I would, and B, dude, fuck Zardwy. I hate that mon so much, and I hate Mega Float, and it's get them out of the game, and we have a better.
You should play my team. It actually matches up really well into both of those Pokemon.
Yeah, let me beat ZA real quick.
I don't have Floette on my team.
Don't you have Mega? If you have Mega Chestnut, I can't play it.
Just
no,
you only have to.
I mean, it's holding the Mega Stone, but like it can hold anything. I never click the Mega Evolve button on it. It just comes and clicks Wide Guard and Body Press.
You also don't
That's
have to
fair.
beat ZA. You just have to transfer a chestnut from ZA to home to champions, and it
Yeah.
gives you the chestnut 8.
Honestly, shout out Burst, who was like, "I'll do that for you," and then home like crashed and was down when Burst did it, and I
Yeah.
haven't messaged Burst in like 5 weeks about it, so I don't.
I'm
I
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that happened because of me in radio. I'm very confident. Because what do you mean? Burst and I were doing trades in Pokemon Home. It We accidentally did like the Minecraft duplication glitch, and then the whole thing went down for everyone like less than an hour later.
yeah,
Hmm.
you were very mad about that.
I was, and I still am.
I was also mad my legit Chestnut from Scarlet and Violet. They were like, "Hey, no Mega Stone, bitch." It's
Yeah.
like,
They
this
said
is a
sorry from the wrong
legit
game.
Pokemon? Like, that I had to play the last DLC? I paid you money for this DLC, Nintendo. Give me my Mega Stone. And they were like, no, can't buy it in the shop
Got-
either.
Guys, welcome back to the pod. This may surprise you considering what we've been talking about for the past several minutes, but this episode is actually not about Pokemon.
Believe
This
it or
is the
not.
This is the conspiracy theories episode. We're talking about conspiracy theories, and my conspiracy theory is that I need a visit to the doctor.
My conspiracy theory is Nintendo wants more of my money.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a conspiracy theory. They just want more.
Yeah, I think that's how capitalism works.
Yeah, they just want more.
I think that, yeah. I think they've been greedy bastards lately, and
That
we
is
need
true.
to tell them, hey, Nintendo, don't do that.
Raz just go to the doctor, or is he just like? Is
I
he
don't-
coming
Yeah.
back?
I have no idea. He might be back in like an hour. Who knows? I've literally, but
This is actually a really long con. He needs to finish his presentation. So
Yeah.
he said the doctor line, and he's currently like he's at work and he's just finishing. He's doing the entire thing.
Frantically typing,
It's just like conspiracy theory.
going on ChatGPT, and is like, "Make me
who-
presentation."
Yeah, ChatGPT. Who killed JFK?
Now make a conspiracy theory about who really killed JFK.
I'm
Should
gonna
I
ask
be
you that. I want to
shirtless?
know. Make a fake.
Viewers at home, some of you might be saying, Raz, what the fuck are you talking about? What does that mean, and where did you go? And to that I would respond,
Oh, you
it's called
needed
cracking a cold one.
you had to get the doctor.
The doctor.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Well,
today-
ChatGPT went a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
By that,
we
I
just
mean
thought you
not
were.
good.
We just thought you were doing your presentation. Like we thought you went off screen.
That-
Oh god.
Would have been extremely funny. No, I was grabbing a Dr. Pepper.
But
It's my favorite drink in the whole wide world.
oh
Hey, I
god.
need a drink too. Wait, I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead.
While he's off, Toby, why don't you hit the breakdown?
I'll give you the breakdown. So, we've gathered two of the most conspiracy-pilled people that we know to assist us in presenting the most wild, most interesting, most deep dive conspiracy theories we could think of. And you may be thinking, whoa, my variety podcast isn't talking about Pokemon for the 5th episode in a row for the entire episode. And you would be right! For once, your variety podcast is doing variety content. And that is
did it.
something you should be proud of. It only took us 8 months and 5 episodes. That's a crazy timeline, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't you guys know you have to consistently upload if you want to like go into the algorithm?
what's an algorithm?
Exactly.
That's not what this podcast is for.
That's
Not
This podcast is for I hang out with Toby.
yeah, it's an excuse to have a
Designated
conversation
hang out
with
time with
Raz.
the camera
Yeah,
off.
Correct.
the whole point of
I
this.
was told presentation night.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I need. I did a
Yeah,
presentation
true,
on the
true.
Scarlet Letter like 2 days ago
Dude, hell yeah.
for a bunch of
W.
friends. We do a book club where it's like high school and like middle school books and shit that you were like assigned to read and just like trying to get other people to read or suffer through the same things you did. So the most recent one was Scarlet Letter.
Please tell me you've read like Divergent.
Okay, so we haven't done those yet. Actually, funnily enough, we haven't had a lot of like middle school books. I'm the only one who recommended one that was like a middle school demo. I said The Giver would be fun, mostly because
Mm,
that book is legit good, and also the
yes.
movie is legit fucking awful. So we
Yeah.
usually pair it with a movie night too. So we did Easy A with Scarlet Letter. Good
And
movie.
Actually, there's a book
good
that
movie.
okay, you should read the Young Elite series by Marie Lu. It's like a YA book, but it's so fucking weird.
Okay.
Like legitimately, it's about this like girl who's like disfigured, and then she goes around and kind of like turns evil and like starts like killing people. It's like a weird like romantasy, but like for young adults, and
Okay.
like just fucking weird as shit.
I'm down.
Anyway,
I like making my friends suffer, so
here I'll send I'll send it to you, Ryan, just so you have the name. If I can fucking find you.
All right.
I'll just put it in here. I don't care. Anyway,
Anyway, we keep getting sidetracked. Conspiracy theory time. So, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna cut the video and then restart it in the new template so that you can see the presentation. So it's not gonna be raw footage for once. Who wants to go first? Who's gonna conspire first?
I vote Mason.
oh,
I
fuck.
believe I already I've
Okay.
already voted Mason.
I vote Mason too. Let's make
All
Mason
right.
go
Excellent.
first.
I'm a
I go
follower,
first.
not a leader.
I can go first. Let me.
As we'll see, as a conspiracy theorist, you know.
Real.
All right, we will be right back. All right.
Guys, this episode is sponsored by God.
Raytheon.
Mason, take it away.
Okay.
Mason's up first. Go.
So, you may have heard of the hit TV show Stranger Things. Some people know this. It's based on this thing called the Montauk Project. What is the Montauk Project? Fuck, I gotta... Okay, there we go. The Montauk Project. Background. According to the Montauk Project books, I forget the name of the guy who wrote them, but it's on the next page. He wrote a bunch of books, right? During the 1950s, the U.S. government conducted secret experiments at Camp Hero on Long Island, based around teleportation and psychic abilities. Obviously. Allegedly, people, mostly abducted homeless people and young boys, had their psychic powers enhanced to the point where they could materialize objects out of the air. At some point, a monster was pulled through in this way that killed a bunch of people a la Demogorgon from Stranger Things, okay? That's your background. So, before we really get into the, like, abducting children, giving them psychic powers thing, we need a little bit of background. This guy, his name is Wilhelm Reich. He was an Austrian psychoanalyst in the 1940s who learned from the man, the myth, the legend, Sigmund Freud. We all know Sigmund Freud, yes?
Yeah. Yep.
Unfortunately.
He had this incredible idea called orgone energy. It's basically sex energy. So everything has sex energy, and if you feel really sexy, it's great. You have lots of energy. He made these boxes. They were called orgone accumulators, in which he had people sit inside naked, and they could heal cancer. Definitely. Yes.
This guy looks like the kind of guy who would say sex energy can cure cancer if you sit in my box.
Yeah, he had him in the he'd like he just like have people come over and he'd be like, if you sit in my box, you'll feel very sexy, and then you'll have no more cancer. And people fucking fell for it.
I mean, look at that haircut. How could you not?
He looks like a real charmer.
Did my friend, when he called me about his problems with his wife, was that because he had an excess of orgone energy?
Probably,
Yeah,
He probably
yeah.
sat in a box and didn't know what it was.
It needed to be dispersed.
Side note, this isn't important to the theory, but just side note about this guy, he started selling these boxes, like, all around, and it turns out the FDA doesn't like it when you sell things that, like, claim they can cure cancer without, like, them actually being able to cure cancer, so he got arrested and died in jail. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
The Montauk Project books were published in 1999 by Preston B. Nichols. He claims to have worked at the Montauk Air Force Base. So, his story. This is the kind of the core. It takes a little bit to get going. But he claims he was employed by a company named Telephonics in 1971, where he somehow convinced someone that he should get a grant to study telepathy. Okay, pretty straightforward. He found that at the same hour each day, The psychics he was testing were having their abilities jammed by a radio transmission that he figured out was coming from Camp Hero on Long Island. So he goes to explore the base. He meets a local homeless man there who tells him that he worked there. Preston doesn't remember that. And also, he was this homeless man's boss. Why is the homeless man hanging out there? Not relevant. But, so Preston figures out he used to work there. He's this guy's boss. So he starts going around just like asking people about it, right? He's like, "What the fuck happened? Why was I here? What was here?" The chief of police tells him that. I mean, he learned a bunch of stuff. This is the funniest one. And the chief of police told him that teenagers would group for hours and then mysteriously separate. So, obviously, it's mind control. So flash forward to 1984, and this guy named Duncan Cameron shows up to Nichols' lab to be an assistant. And crazy plot twist, he's psychic. So Nichols takes him to Camp Hero, and he gets a flashback that he was, and like this is from the book. This is actually like what he's saying. He was programmed to befriend Nichols, kill him, and blow up his lab. Cameron immediately says he will not do that, and Nichols goes, "Okay, sure, I believe you." And Cameron reveals he was part of the Philadelphia experiment. We all know what the Philadelphia experiment is, right? No. Okay. So for people who don't know, the Philadelphia experiment, basically what happened is the U.S. government had this boat, and they were trying to make it invisible. As one, seems pretty helpful for the military. In the process of making it invisible, the boat disappeared and reappeared at a port like way down the East Coast, and all of the sailors on it were gone.
Oh.
Like teleported, basically.
Okay.
So that's the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's a pretty straightforward story, but the U.S. government invented teleportation is basically the thing. So this guy Duncan Cameron was a part of it, and he just never mentions that again. So it's not really relevant, but it kind of connects. Anyway, from there, Nichols just kind of keeps trying to figure out what happened to him because he's like, I worked at this place and I don't remember it. Weird. So he keeps on just like walking around his job, and he's like looking at restricted things because that's how you figure it out. And then like one day in 1990, he's installing this antenna, and he suddenly, and like all his memories come back just like somehow.
Oh, okay.
Crazy, right? So this is what he remembered, and this is the real story of the Montauk Project that definitely happened.
Okay.
He's 11.
So no, he's not 11.
Hold,
no. We're getting there. So you remember Orgon energy, right? Sexy boxes.
Yep.
Apparently it can control the weather. Doesn't explain how. Don't worry about it. The weather can be controlled by sexy energy.
I believe that.
So obviously the government.
I think so. I can see
obviously
that.
The government was doing it because obviously. So the group that was controlling the weather merged with the Philadelphia experiment group. They made one really like fucked up baby. It was led by this guy named John von Neumann, who you guys probably don't know, but he's like a genius pretty much. He's like the guy who invented computers kind of, and like did a bunch of stuff in like the war. Anyway, they found that the Philadelphia experiment had figured out a way to teleport people into an alternate reality, a la Upside Down in Stranger Things.
Sure.
Somehow you could also use this to mind control people. Again, there's not a whole lot explained. So obviously the military is invested. According to Preston Nichols, they use Nazi gold to fund the whole thing. So there you go. There's the Germans. They got it. It's from like there's some like train that like a bunch of gold was on Germany that like the gold went missing, and that is apparently what they used for this. Anyway, so in 1973 he got hired to work on this project, where they would take psychics, bombard them with microwaves, and wait for something to happen. And usually that would leave them brain dead, to the surprise of literally no one.
It's Papa.
Kind of, yeah. Actually,
Sorry. He is like Papa.
Yeah. So obviously, psychic powers get stronger when you sit on chairs. So they built a really special kind of chair that amplifies the powers of people who sit in it. This chair was also built by aliens. Again, zero elaboration on the aliens or how that happened, but aliens built the chair. So in this chair, people would have their abilities get a lot stronger, which let them start manifesting things out of thin air. So like you could just pull shit into reality, basically. They could also like see through the eyes of other people, mind control, the whole shebang, basically. The main psychic they used was Preston Nichols' assistant, Duncan Cameron. he's pretty much 11. But like if 11 was like psychic Jesus, I guess.
Is she not?
About to say
Uh,
so.
so he used his powers to like control the other subjects, because if you don't remember, they kind of made all of them brain dead. So he kind of mind controlled the rest of the psychics. But to control him, they had his conscious mind deviated through sexual bliss. So
Through Orgon energy?
They
who
put him in a
knows?
box.
They don't really spend. Yeah, they just,
A box with a chair in it.
Who knows? I'd like to imagine that they just like
The cock chair.
Functionally, that's kind of where I was thinking too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. So this guy was like crazy. Like he was like super good at this. He could manifest objects, teleport, mind control people remotely, and bend time. Although only when he was in the chair was the time bending. He could do other stuff while he wasn't there. And eventually, scientists figured out how to create stable time tunnels, which I can only assume looks exactly like the entrance to the Upside Down. So they obviously needed to explore what they found. So they took the most qualified people they could find. Little boys and homeless men. And they put them through the tunnels.
Sure.
A lot of these little boys, side note, were allegedly like neo-Nazi prototype. Like he just kind of throws that in his books and doesn't
Nazis are going to come up a lot today, it seems.
It turns out they're in most conspiracy theories, actually. So the hobos went to a lot of places. World War I, World War II, a pyramid on the surface of Mars, back to the Philadelphia experiment, 1637 AD, where they find a statue of a golden horse that just, again, is not elaborated on.
Really.
But while they're exploring Mars, they shut off a thing called the Solar Defense System in 1943, which allows UFOs to begin visiting Earth. Again, not elaborated on. They just did that. Not like it's actually just not important to any of the story, but... So anyway, one day, they're doing the time shit, and Cameron summons a monster that was, quote, a hairy monster. It was big, hairy, hungry, and nasty. So, it's Bigfoot. The monster was 9 to 30 feet tall, pretty wide range, and it just kind of, like, ran around and, like, murdered people, destroyed shit. And then eventually Preston Nichols like destroys the chair, the psychic cuck chair, and Bigfoot disappears. And then everything, yes.
So this is stating that the cuck chair summoned Bigfoot.
No, Duncan Cameron using the cuck chair summoned Bigfoot.
Right, so Orgon energy is the reason Bigfoot exists.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly, it doesn't say it's Bigfoot, but Bigfoot disappeared when they destroyed the chair. So...
No further questions.
Yeah. Don't think about it too hard. So after that, they shut everything down and wipe everyone's memories. Obviously. Yes, Raz.
If Nichols is the boss, who is wiping everyone's memories?
I honestly have no idea.
Cool.
Just
okay.
could not tell you.
I assume it's just a vegetable child, like they just kind of threw him at people, and his Orgon energy
Duncan
was enough.
Cameron,
Yeah.
But like they don't really say.
Because
So-
like my brain is like a VHS tape, and the vegetable child is like a magnet.
Yeah,
He's a conduit of Orgon energy.
yeah.
Right. Yes.
They probably
yes.
put you in a box and just like you feel so sexy you forget.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So did any of this actually happen? Probably not. At the beginning of the book, he's literally just like, I have no evidence for any of this, but trust me.
Okay,
So
I believe him.
Yep, I believe him too. He went on to write several more books about the Montauk Project, which get just more batshit. These contain neo-Nazis, UFOs, magic, L. Ron Hubbard, founder of Scientology, Mark Hamill shows up at one point, and Preston Nichols claims that he worked as a sound engineer on The Empire Strikes Back, but he wasn't credited to like preserve his anonymity or whatever the fuck. So just know this guy did the sound for Empire Strikes
Allegedly.
Back. Yeah.
Allegedly.
So a follow-up question. Does that mean Mark Hamill is a conduit of Orgon energy?
No, I don't act... Mark Hamill... It's
he is. Yeah, he is.
Probably.
Have you seen him?
I don't really like remember. I didn't read all the books, obviously, but like I just like looked it up, and it was like, yeah, Mark Hamill shows up in like some of the other ones, and I was like,
Just out of
awesome.
nowhere, he's like, "Hi guys, I'm
This
Mark
is-
Hamill,
he's
star
just kinda
star
like
of
there.
Star Wars."
yeah, pretty much.
Go see
At
Star
one point,
Wars now in theaters.
L. Ron Hubbard shows up because like Preston Nichols starts like talking about how he was like a twin in his past life, and then his other twin was like the spirit of L. Ron Hubbard, and they were like reincarnated twins together. Just
I don't want to say anything or we'll get sued, and we can't.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can't
guys.
afford it.
This is a Neil Breen movie.
yeah, probably.
What you just
Oh,
described to
dude.
me.
yeah, I think so. Stranger Things. I would like to wrap this up by reminding you that Stranger Things is explicitly based upon this book. The working title when it was in prototype was Montauk. Like, it is explicitly based on this. So just remember, next time you watch Stranger Things, just thank God that they didn't include sex boxes or like Orgon energy, or like just randomly fucking Mark Hamill shows up. Yes, Ryan.
Wouldn't that have been a better ending? I'm a little
Probably,
confused.
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
probably would
yeah.
have, but like,
If Mark Hamill showed up at the end of Stranger Things and was like,
hi, I'm Mark Hamill from
I'm Mark
Star
Hamill.
Wars.
"This is my friend. He worked on the sound design. Anyway, we're
They just
gonna
cut to
use our
black.
sex energy and magic to
Yeah, they
stop
put him
all
in a
this
cuck
shit."
chair and just stop the big fucking monster.
Here's my
big-
homeless friends that explored for me and the little
fucking-
boys that went with them.
The mind flayers come at him, and Mark Hamill's like, "Quick, I gotta sit in my cuck chair."
Yeah,
He just sits down and fucking blows up.
it
That
would
would
make
be
the
fire, actually.
the Demogorgons are actually eating like the main characters, and it's
No,
actually
the Demogorgons
scary.
are the homeless men. They just have been lost.
Oh my god.
Cool.
But yeah,
Hi.
so just remember that this is a direct inspiration for Stranger Things.
So
Yeah, the end.
great.
Yes, Raz.
I'm not thanking the Duffer Brothers for anything. Those dudes wrote a great show for 4.5 seasons, and then one motherfucker got divorced, and he said, "Throw the whole fucking thing in the trash."
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm
it
shaking.
would have been better if they brought in this stuff. All I'm saying.
Probably. Turns out that guy doesn't know how to write a TV show.
Ryan has a
Got
question.
one last question.
Yes.
So, like, this is a conspiracy theory, and my thought is, while I obviously believe it, who the fuck else believed this?
Dude, there's like legitimately people who believe that this happened. I mean, like, okay, because here's the thing. The book
Okay.
that he wrote is like a book, and this is all the wacky shit that happens in the book. Most people don't know that part. They just kind of focus on, like, children with psychic powers type
Okay.
of thing, and like, so like that's the part that's like the like mainstream version is like the government made psychic children to mind control people.
Yeah.
They kind of
okay.
gloss over the like sending homeless people to Mars and like
They
you
like
know.
watched Akira and saw the cool motorcycle slide. And was like, that fucking happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes
it's
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much they were like they hit the highlights in the mainstream. Like if you ever you're on like YouTube Shorts or whatever, and you get a video about the Montauk Project, they're gonna be like psychic children, mind control, blah blah blah, etc. etc. And that's a pretty digestible theory for a lot of people. Once you start getting into the sexy chairs and homeless people on Mars, I think it gets a little bit more questionable. But most people don't really get that far.
I mean, it gets questionable, but I think once you mention that Mark Hamill and L. Ron Hubbard come in with
Yeah,
their sex
that
energy
really,
and
like,
magic,
brings it
that pulls
together.
it back to me. I feel like,
Yeah.
like maybe they lose me, but then they bring in
But then
Mark
Mark
Hamill
Hamill
and
shows
L.
up,
Ron
and that's how
Hubbard.
you know it's authentic.
And I'm
because
like,
Mark
okay.
Hamill doesn't just show up in anything.
I'm like, if
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's here, shit must be serious.
Yes, Rez.
When you said that Bigfoot got created by horny sex energy and 11 from Stranger Things, that's how I knew it was real, because I always thought that, actually.
Yeah.
That's been my working theory for
Yeah.
quite some time.
Yeah.
So I feel very
Yeah.
validated.
I just believe anything anyone says to me uncritically, and it's caused me no issues throughout my entire life.
Yeah, I
believe
just-
it.
Yes, exactly that.
That's my favorite thing about this one, is because there are people who legitimately believe that this happened, and there's just like they've just literally never looked into it, because looking into it for like 0.2 seconds should tell you all you need to know. There's one point where like he goes when he goes to the military base the first time. First of all, the gates are like just completely unlocked, and he can just like kind of go in there and just like explore and the military base. And there's like just a homeless man living there who used to work there because of course there is, and that guy has his memories for some reason.
Right.
And then he goes back, like he like keeps going back to it, and at no point is the military base like locked up or cleaned up. It's just like there, and he can just come and go as he wishes.
Which like would not happen.
Yeah, which is like is not a thing.
He works for the government.
No, not at that point. Not at that point.
The government had their minds wiped too, so the facility is just blank.
Right.
I think that makes sense.
The timeline's also a little bit weird because like the story starts in like 1971, but like he talks about getting employed in 1973. It's questionable at best.
Yeah, I mean you can't blame him. He had his mind wiped.
Yeah, I guess that does some weird things to your perception of time.
I think my favorite thing about this theory is how much it's just trust me, bro. Because it's like every like mine is there's so much in the weeds, like half factual information I was able to find. There's literally books written about how mine could have actually happened.
Yep.
This one is just, there's sex boxes. It made Bigfoot. Mark Hamill has sex energy called Orgon energy.
Yeah, he does.
And he is like, we went to Mars and we traveled in time. Just trust me, it happened. Yep. I can't prove it, but it did happen.
He even says that. He literally is like, at the start of the book, he's literally like, he's like, I will provide zero evidence for this. You just like, but like, trust me, this totally happened. Like, he's just like explicitly like, I have zero evidence to back this up. Like, just trust me, bro.
I will not cite my sources because there are none. It is in
His
here.
Sources are himself. His sources are his own memories after he miraculously recovered them. So there's just no reason to believe him.
I was wondering, because you said 1970s German psychoanalyst, and that's when they had, like, the memory recovery therapy sort of thing. And, like, they generated so many, like, false memories. Like, people were, like a lot, like, people were, like, actually, like, in the 1970s, like, having this, and they were, like, psychologists would publish, like, the literal fucking devil spoke through this person.
Yeah.
Like, this person had a past life memory where Satan's had to start speaking through them because it was too traumatic, like, that was a thing in this era. Yeah. So that actually... Considering Willem here, that actually doesn't surprise me as much.
My goat Willem. There's really nothing convincing the general public that if you sit in a box, you'll feel real sexy and then your cancer will be gone.
Raz is so right, though. This guy absolutely looks like somebody who's like, I made this box. If you sit in it... I have a little box.
If you come in it, listen, you have to listen to me very carefully. Yes, you have to take all of your clothes off and come into my basement, and I will have you sit in my box. No, trust me. All of your clothes have to be off. No clothes. No underwear. You have to take off your shirt. Yes.
You generate so much sexual energy that your cancer just dies.
It just disappears. You have to trust me. Yeah.
Oops, I'm teleporting again.
Oh, look, there's Mark Hamill. Hi, Mark Hamill.
Don't worry about the Mark Hamill. He is inside the box. Do not look at the other people in the box. They are very naked.
The box next to you is occupied by Mark Hamill.
He is very self-conscious about the size of his penis.
Right. Imagine you... And then, because you're in, like, 1970, you go, who the fuck is Mark Hamill?
Yeah, you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
You're like, that is a little boy. No, don't worry about it. He is Mark Hamill. He will be very famous one day.
We're manifesting it through sex energy.
We've put him in this box so much, there's just no way he can't be famous.
Maybe
that's
he did.
Why he got famous, because he
had sex energy. The cuck chair made him famous. Maybe that's it. I mean, who knows?
That's the secret, I think.
God. Mason,
anyway, that was really hot and talented.
Mason, thank you for blessing us with this theory. My God.
This was tremendous.
Very good, very good. I will be thinking about Orgon energy for the rest of my life, personally.
Just every time you need to feel sexy, just remember you can sit in a box and it does work.
And a chair, a specialized chair, of course.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
This is a side note, but I keep getting TikToks about, like, cuck chairs, but, like, they're, like, in funny... Like, one was, like, a lifeguard chair, and it was, like, on the bed. like a tall chair. It's so good. There was one that was like a cuck judge stand. It was like a chair with like a desk in front of it. It's so good.
Oh, speaking of that, Raz, I saw our hotel room for Indy. There is a cuck chair. There's a good cuck chair.
Excellent. And I will be in there.
Why would you be in the cuck chair?
Guess.
I just imagine you're both in it and you're just staring down at the empty
The
bed.
empty bed.
Maybe if you listen, your house might be haunted. Maybe it's like you can watch the ghosts fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh, I talk about ghosts.
Okay, alright. On to the next theory. Okay, we decided off screen that I'm going next because it makes Ryan's make more sense or something like that. Or it's funnier. I don't remember. Let's do this. So, gentlemen, when you think of British contributions to the war effort in World War II, you probably think of a few things, right? You probably think of the Spitfire fighter plane. You probably think of the sticky grenade. You probably think of the Enigma code breakers, which effectively ended Germany's ability to communicate over long distances and covertly prepare battle plans. And you might be thinking of advanced radar or something like that. All very useful things. Things that set the standard for modern warfare for years to come. But there are, for every success, there tends to be a failure, sometimes multiple failures, that are stains on the record of a government and military as a whole. Things like, hold on, it didn't work. There we go. Things like the giant panjandrum, which, if you don't know what that is a giant barrel filled with explosives, attached to two massive wagon wheels that are rocket propelled. And the idea is that they are to speed towards a wall and explode and break the wall. This was something that they were working on for D-Day, but in reality, one of the rockets stopped working and it made the thing roll cockeyed and it almost blew up Winston Churchill because he was there to watch it. It did. This is a real thing. That did happen.
That is okay.
That's my fun alternate history fact.
Winston Churchill was just eviscerated by a failed war project, which would have been crazy. But yeah, the Panjandrum is a major failure. The bouncing bomb, which was designed to skip across bodies of water for long distances and explode German dams to remove their infrastructure. Another way to remove their infrastructure. Those failures are documented things in the UK National Archives. They are stains on the record of the British military and British intelligence. But there is a documented project that is far worse and far more bizarre than any of these, which is lacing Adolf Hitler's food with estrogen and female hormones, effectively turning him into a woman to end the war faster. This is Project Femviewer. Now, by 1943, the Allied powers had begun shifting the momentum of World War II from defense to large-scale offensive operations. The Battle of Stalingrad ended in a very decisive victory for the Soviets. It pushed Germans back across enemy lines. And then months later, the Battle of Kursk, another Soviet battle, also known as the largest tank battle of human history, as you can see below, ended in a resounding Soviet victory and effectively ended any Nazi momentum of a large-scale armored assault for the rest of the war. And at the same time, Allied forces had begun invading Italy and more specifically Sicily by July 1943. The campaign itself triggered the collapse of Benito Mussolini's Italian fascist government and led to Italy's surrender to the Allies. It just became increasingly clear that the war had shifted decisively in favor of the Allies. And at the same time, the Allies were planning what would be soon known as D-Day, but at the time was known as Operation Overlord, the plan to invade Europe on a massive scale, unlike anything ever seen before, to take back Western Europe from the Nazis. So it became pretty clear that things were shifting in favor of the Allies pretty quickly, right? But there were concerns that were raised. That was something like Operation Overlord, militarily, while would be a resounding success for the Allies if it all went right, it's going to require a lot of money, a lot of manpower, a lot of resources. It would likely cause untold amounts of casualties. The obvious solution that they came up with was, in order to keep the war from lasting for any longer than it has to be, is to remove the person causing it, right? Adolf Hitler. Get rid of the head of the operation, and the rest will fall with it. So they came up with a few things. Assassination attempts, psychological warfare, sabotage. There were many ways that they thought they could get Hitler out of the picture. One of which is a harebrained scheme that we are talking about today. So, Adolf Hitler is no stranger to assassination attempts. He actually survived dozens of them in his time. There were so many of them that he became extremely paranoid as the war progressed, trusted very few people, even getting suspicious of his inner circle of top generals and advisors, including his second-in-command, Hermann Goering. He actually ordered his arrest by the end of the war. He trusted very few people, and as Germany's situation continued to deteriorate, he became far more isolated and erratic, surrounding himself with tighter security, constantly shifting personnel within his staff, and most famously, the most famous assassination attempt would be from July 20th, 1944, where he was attending a military conference with his officers, and one of the officers brought an explosive briefcase and attempted to detonate the conference room with him in it, which they did, but Hitler was not in the room at the time. So you can imagine Adolf Hitler walking down the hallway to this military advisor meeting, and then just the whole fucking building explodes around him, and he's like, And with that assassination attempt was also an attempted coup d'etat of several German military officers to dethrone Hitler. He survived that. He survived dozens of other assassination attempts. It was becoming pretty clear. Yes, Raz.
Mason had his hand up first.
Yes, Mason.
Is it possible he was also growing more erratic and untrustworthy because he was consuming large amounts of methamphetamines?
We are getting to that.
Okay, perfect.
We are getting to that. Yes, Raz.
How do you miss the only fucking guy you're trying to kill? How do you blow up the bomb when he's not even in the fucking room?
Well, you see,
I think they'd want visual confirmation, right?
So I
Perhaps.
think that I didn't look fully into that assassination attempt. I just know that's the most famous one. I think the explosive was on a timer, and he was supposed to be in the room by then, and he wasn't, or something like that. He was running late, and then it actually went off.
That's why I always am running late.
Yeah, because I don't think the dude that brought the explosive briefcase was in the room when he detonated it. I think he set a timer or something and left, but
Right.
I could be wrong because I have not looked fully into that.
Tight.
But all of these failed assassination attempts, it made it extraordinarily difficult for Allied spies or operatives to gain access to the Führer. Because he keeps shifting staff around. He's not staying in one location all the time. He trusts basically nobody by the end of the war. So any successful attempt to remove Hitler from power by the end of the war, to prevent any more casualties and more costs and destruction of Europe, would likely have to be an unconventional way of doing so. You can't just walk into the room and shoot him, or you can't just leave a bomb in a room and explode him. Clearly that's not working. So one such unconventional attempt at this was devised by the British SOE, which is the Special Operations Executive. They are kind of like a British Special Forces that was operating in Nazi Germany at the time. They were doing things like guerrilla tactics and espionage and shit like that. They actually appealed to British intelligence and Winston Churchill himself that they had an idea to remove Hitler effectively for good, which was sneaking estrogen along with other female sex hormones into like a drug cocktail and lacing his food with it. The idea behind it is actually more practical than you might think. It could be easily done without making contact with the Führer, because British intelligence did have agents behind enemy lines that could get close enough to where Hitler was, and get into, say, the kitchen that's preparing his food and lace his food with this chemical, and it could be gotten to him without anybody having to make direct contact with him. Easy enough to sneak into a building, harder to find where he is and shoot him, type of thing. The other yes.
If they had access to his food, why did they not just fucking poison him?
I'm actually getting to that point right now.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Like literally the second you, yeah. So actually the other point that they used to justify using estrogen in his food was, you may be asking like Ryan, if they were able to get into where his food is being prepared, why don't you poison him? Well, most poisons that were easy enough to get in the time of the 1940s had like a pungent odor to them, and Hitler himself, because he trusted basically nobody, employed several taste testers to eat his food beforehand to vet that, because at this point he has survived maybe 24 assassination attempts. He's not taking any chances with his food either, because he knows that's a way that he could be killed. So estrogen and the female hormone concoction that they had or could come up with, and there were several gender studies and hormonal experimentations going on with chemicals like that at the time. Estrogen is a pretty much odorless and tasteless chemical. Once you've put it into a liquid form to lace food with. So taste testers that ate Hitler's food would likely not notice it. And it also doesn't have any immediate effects. This is a very long-term, over the course of months and months process. So taste testers wouldn't be able to catch this before it's in his system and doing its thing. And it would be, through this method, extremely easy to lace those chemicals and expose him to a large amount of estrogen over time, especially because sex research was becoming increasingly widespread by the 40s. And because of all of these factors, the Allies were heavily considering doing something like this. Maybe not necessarily estrogen. Yes, Mason.
Is estrogen something that works via ingestion?
It can, yes.
Okay.
It can. So the way that they do that is, think of it kind of like in modern times, where you can take estrogen pills or testosterone pills during sex change therapy. It's kind of similar like that. Okay. Estrogen itself can't, but it's what they mix it with that can.
Okay. I got you.
Yep. So they weren't necessarily specifically landing on this at the time, but they figured something like this could work. Adolf Hitler was viewed by the Allies as an angry, narcissistic, erratic, and dangerously unpredictable man. And by the later years of the war, it had become increasingly clear that he had no intention of surrendering, and that, quite frankly, he had lost his shit. Regardless of how catastrophic Germany's situation was becoming, he refused to surrender. He refused to allow his troops to retreat. He refused to hold anything in reserve. He refused to call any type of fighting off. He was hell-bent on victory or death, even though it was becoming very clear by the later years of the war that it would be death. So they were pretty sure he was going to sacrifice massive amounts of soldiers, even though the war could no longer realistically be won. And as Allied forces were closing in, he actually got so desperate as to start employing children and old men as soldiers. That is, yes. There's actually several movies on that I could link you to.
That's not very cool of him.
Well, he's not a very cool guy, so I don't think of cool guy when I think of Hitler.
Crazy. From what I understand, in current times, he was the coolest guy ever.
Oh yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen Empire Strikes Back?
Dude, yeah.
There was a really cool sound designer on it.
But yeah, to American and British intelligence, Hitler himself was the central obstacle from keeping the war from ending because of all of these things. As long as he was in power, pretty much it was accepted that he was going to make Germany fight to the bitter end, and it would result in millions more deaths on both sides combined of the Germans and the Allies. So one of the strangest theories emerged because of that, which was, if he was laced with estrogen, with how possible it is to get it into his food, what if his personality itself could be altered? At the time, in the 40s, it was generally thought of that women were far more empathetic, far more even-keeled, far less batshit insane and war-waging than men. So they thought, what if we turned Hitler into a woman? Would he not become more empathetic towards everything that's going on around him? Would he not feel bad for what he's done? Would he not tell his armies to lay down their arms and answer for the consequences of his actions? Well, according to certain reports that are from the UK National Archives, specifically written by the commander of the British SOE, repeated doses of estrogen and other female hormones could make him less aggressive, less impulsive, more emotionally empathetic. Some versions of the story even claimed that they could actually turn Hitler into his more soft-spoken sister, Paula Hitler, who was his secretary at the time. That is, I'm a couple slides behind, but that's Hitler if he was a woman, more empathetic and with a bow, and he loves life, and yeah.
Oh, he's so cute.
And that's the child and old men soldiers, and yeah, you get it. You get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they thought that they could make Hitler way more even-keeled if they just turned him into a woman. Now, that logic sounds fucking insane to you guys today, right? Yep. That sounds absolutely dog water of an idea for a military installation to be trying to do on one of the most dangerous men in the world at the time. But in the 40s, it seemed like it would work. We didn't know anything about sex studies and hormonal changes and things like that. We thought this was the gold standard of how sex change therapy worked. We thought estrogen makes you into a nice woman, testosterone makes you into a war-waging man. That was the general acceptance at that point. And then that's Paula Hitler, his sister, who, look at her. She doesn't seem like that bad of a person, right? She looks like a sweet lady. She looks like, hey, Adolf, we should stop genociding people. That's, not cool. Yeah, what's up, Mason?
Did they consider that Hitler's sister still worked for Hitler?
I don't believe so. I do not think they did at the time.
Wouldn't have been that nice of a person.
No, yeah, I don't know if they actually went that far, but yeah. The logic sounds insane, but they thought maybe the war might be stopped if they could feminize Hitler. So, research was conducted, ideas were drafted. According to later accounts from the British SOE, supplies of estrogen and other hormones actually might have been sourced, never shipped to Germany, but sourced and trying to find out where they could get it from. And Allied intelligence networks that were already operating behind enemy lines, they believed that they were closer than ever to getting to Hitler and making this happen. For a very, very brief moment, it actually seemed like one of the most bizarre plans ever hatched by a military ever might actually happen. However, the plan was never carried out. No estrogen ever delivered to Hitler on a platter. The plot to make the Führer female really never came into fruition. Because less than a year later, as you can see here, Soviet forces closed in on Berlin and the Third Reich collapsed around him. Adolf Hitler took his own life inside of his Führer bunker beneath the German capital, and even in the final days of the war, he did refuse to surrender, continuing to order hopeless resistance as Germany literally burned around him. The Nazi regime fought on until the Allies had quite literally reached the Brandenburg Gate, and Hitler ended his own life. And then the people that he left in charge after his death were the ones to finally order the surrender, because they were smarter men than him at that point. For what it is worth at that point. The war in Europe ended not with negotiation, but with devastation and unimaginable bloodshed. And lingering in the shadows of wartime history is a bizarre question of whether something would have unfolded differently if he was given estrogen in his food. Now,
I don't think so.
yeah, now, here's the thing. And that's the Führer bunker, that's the Soviets burning the fuck out of Berlin. You get the idea. Now, here's the thing. Officially, and this is the British SOE doing a I don't know what you call it.
Debriefing?
Debriefing, yeah. So here's the thing. Officially, the Allied plot to feminize Hitler was abandoned before it could ever be carried out. And historians do largely dismiss this as a bizarre wartime rumor. However, what if the operation wasn't abandoned? What if the British intelligence actually succeeded in doing what they claimed to do and simply erased the evidence afterwards? I mean, in the final years of the war, Hitler was no longer the same man who had electrified massive amounts of people in the 1930s. Witnesses described him as emotionally unstable, paranoid, physically frail, and prone to emotional outbursts and mental collapse. His hands trembled uncontrollably, his health rapidly deteriorated, and he withdrew from public appearances and isolated himself in heavily guarded compounds. Officially, this is attributed to stress, drug abuse like methamphetamines, neurological illness, and the collapsing state of the war. But it actually could point to something different. Prolonged hormonal manipulation, as we know today. Now, back in the 1940s, it was seen as you give a man estrogen, he becomes a woman, he's far more even-keeled and empathetic, etc. We know nowadays that is not the case at all. We actually know, because of the age that we're living in, with so many sex change therapies going on, becoming transgender is far more commonplace. When you are on hormone therapy, your emotions are not muted, they are elevated. They are brought out to their most extreme, and you become a far worse version of yourself before you get better. So, maybe the Allies actually successfully infiltrated Hitler's food supply. And during the later years of the war, while administering those micro doses of estrogen, maybe he never realized what was happening to him, becoming more physically frail, far more emotional, far more prone to mental breakdowns. And think about it like this. If you're Adolf Hitler, and you're the most dangerous man in the world, you're supposed to be the person who is in charge of the most powerful empire, the Reich that will last 1,000 years, and you suddenly wake up one day, and you're getting thinner, and you're growing boobs that you have to conceal under an overcoat, for example, the pitch in your voice is changing, you're far more emotional, that's going to cause you to get even more emotional, right? That could actually, in a way, explain Hitler's increasingly irrational behavior, his emotional instability, his physical decline, and his inability to effectively command his armies during the late stages of the war. And it could be suggestive that the Allies maybe even saw this happen and preferred him in a psychologically weak state so that he couldn't effectively command his armies. That would make an easier victory for them. Or my favorite theory of that is that they laced him with estrogen, all of that happened, and they went, oh shit, and then decided to bury all of it. But that's just me, though. That's chemicals during wartime. That's you get it. You get it. That's the end. I think they turned Hitler into a woman, and that's why he became the way he did at the end of the war. Thank you.
Okay.
I believe it.
I like meth too. I think that's an option.
No. I mean, meth could have happened. It could have happened. Maybe it did happen.
I don't think so. I think it was that. I think it was that.
I think it was that personally. I do too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you provided me too much information, so I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went overboard.
I believed in the Montauk project, and then I fell out, and then Mark Hamill showed up, and I was back. This one I learned about in the math, and I'm like, well.
Well, it could have been meth, sure. I went down a very deep rabbit hole, and meth is one of the possibilities. It definitely is. It's probably the likelihood, but I think he was a woman. That's my personal.
This one's
I think he was a woman.
In unrelated news, I fixed my lighting.
Phenomenal.
Beautiful.
It's better than it was, so.
Perfecto. All right. Next up.
Ryan time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm running.
All right. Next up, Ryan is following up Hitler could be a woman with what?
Well, we're going to get into it. Unfortunately, I am missing a very important member of my audience right now. There he is. Hi,
there he is.
I'm right here. Sorry, my cat is being cat-like. You gotta see him. Look at him. He's so cute. Except he got neutered, so he has a.
He's got an orange slice cone on his face.
Yeah. He's not happy about it either, but.
I wouldn't be. I'd be pissed.
Me too, honestly.
Raz fully changed hairstyles for my presentation.
Completely.
Yeah. Fucking. Well, it was fun while it lasted, I guess. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Look,
Ryan's gonna be late for a barbecue, and it's because of you.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's my 80-year-old grandparents. Come on, man. They gotta have me there. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, motherfuckers. The Illuminati is fucking real by Ryan. Let's go.
Holy shit.
All right, so I got some table of contents here. We're going to have a brief introduction to my history with the Illuminati. Then we're going to go over the actual history of the Illuminati. We're going to have some fucking real talk here. We're going to talk about some modern conspiracy, actual beliefs, and then some conclusions. All right, let's go. First off, an introduction. Hi, I'm Ryan. Here's my current history with the Illuminati. I know they're blamed as a joke for a lot of things. Like, I knew that going in. I knew that people go, oh, it's the fucking Illuminati, like, as a joke. Secret society of the most powerful people ever. They're, like, super secret, and they control everything in the shadows. And I kind of thought Nick Cage killed them in those movies about the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Those movies are National Treasure 1 and 2, with a respective Metacritic score of 40% and 48%.
Hey,
so they did better the second time. So,
not according to Metacritic.
Surprise time, the Illuminati are not in those movies.
What?
I was gonna say.
I really did think that they were. I've never seen them.
I didn't know that.
We're gonna hop on in
Wait.
with some fucking history. Yeah, Mason, what's up?
Isn't the guys in those movies? It's like the Freemasons. Is
We'll
like
get
the
there.
secret society.
Yep,
Okay.
we'll get there. Yep.
Yeah.
This
Secret
dude is
societies
engaged,
and
now
you.
He's in Nick Cage movies. Fuck.
Okay, so there are tons of secret societies worldwide with different definitions and objectives throughout history. The actual number of secret societies is unknown because they're secret. There are a lot of them listed on Wikipedia. It was like around 150 actually, that we like know of. In all like different parts of the world and stuff. A lot of early secret societies, including the Freemasons and the Illuminati, were made in opposition to the Catholic Church. So a lot of the secret societies we're going to be focused on today were made in opposition to the Catholic Church. This also does align with the front end of my presentation. The Illuminati are actually like real, like they actually exist, and we'll kind of get into the weeds of that. Usually it was to spread Enlightenment era philosophy, so like, you know, wait, if God's dead, what if I like used reason and science, that kind of shit.
I just did a class
The
on that.
Freemasons gone sexual. So we actually need to talk about the Freemasons first, like Mason was talking about. And yes, they are the bad guys of the National Treasure movie.
I knew it.
And they actually appear more in media than our other groups do, and there's kind of some reasons for that. The Illuminati show up less than the Freemasons do. A parody of them appeared in The Simpsons as the Stonecutters. That was actually my first introduction to the Freemasons.
Holy shit.
They have meetings in Mason lodges. They like squares and compasses. Those are their symbols. These Mason lodges, by the way, the picture that's here is actually a real Mason lodge. Like, that's a real one that you can go to in London. Yeah.
You said the square is their symbol?
How
the fuck did we let them claim an entire shape, dog? Like,
it's
what?
fine. It's fine.
They can have it.
They like stone cutting, I guess. So yeah, they also essentially the Freemasons early on did weird cult stuff with symbols, and they told weirder Bible stories. So they would like take Bible stories and then they'd be like, what if it was weirder than it already was? So they told some whack ass stories. You can literally they later on shifted to like Enlightenment era philosophy. So at first they were kind of like a weird cult the Catholic Church wasn't happy about, and then later on they were like, oh, I like this Enlightenment shit, and then they kind of pivoted. You can literally apply to be one today. You can go to like becomeafreemason.org. I actually, when I looked, there is a Freemason lodge that is like publicly known that is like 2 miles from my house.
Holy shit.
So
Ryan, you have to do it for the research.
I considered it. They are fraternal organization. They actually, as of 2019 though, accept trans people, which is kind of rad actually.
That's cool.
The Catholic Church hates them. Anti-Masonry is a thing. They are religious generally, though. The Freemasons do believe in a higher power and God, and they're like they're a religious organization. Anti-Masonry, I want to be clear, has a Wikipedia page. Like, it is like the crusade against them has a Wikipedia page. It's pretty intense. The earliest world domination conspiracies also date back to 1786. So the first people who said they're trying to run the world, all the way back there. Yeah, Mason again.
Why don't they like me?
What?
Shut up.
They just
bro.
don't like. They just don't like when you're. They just don't like when you're free.
Yeah, they don't want you to be Freemason.
They don't want you to be free. You have a fucking lodge though, which is kind of cool. The lodges are actually
lodges,
the lodges are kind of sick. Actually, you can like live in them and shit. It's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Apparently, by the way, I looked on Reddit at people talking about becoming Freemasons. You literally like apply. Like you can apply via email, and like they'll meet up with you, and then they'll like talk to you in like one-on-one meetings for 6 months, and then decide if you're cool enough to join them.
So it's just an
I could
adult
do it.
rat.
Yeah, it's literally a frat.
It's kind of
all right, now we have to talk about the fucking Illuminati and our Giga Chad founder, Bavarian, which is now modern day Germany, man, Adam Weishaupt. He thought the Freemasons sucked ass. That was his thing. He thought they sucked, and he made his own secret society. Which was the Illuminati. There was tons of political infighting with different sects of the Illuminati. In 1785, becoming a member of a secret society was made illegal, and the Illuminati like died overnight because they were not secret. People knew what they were, so they said, "Hey, this shit's illegal now," and everyone who was in it was like, "Oh fuck, my secret society isn't secret, and I'm getting executed because that was the crime." Was being executed. They also, just for the record, despite having all this infighting and all this politicking, their numbers never exceeded like 3,000 people. And then also you can rank up ELO style. They have novice, Minerval, and illuminated Minerval. So like you ELO through the ranks in the Illuminati. The Freemasons have something similar, and the offshoot sects of the Illuminati have very complicated like ranked matchmaking levels of fucking ELO going on. where it like got really complicated.
Like the KKK, where you can be like the Grand Wizard or whatever the fuck.
So like illuminate. It was like apprentice illuminated Minerva into like, and then you like went into the next sect and stuff. It was
Okay.
wild. Here's a meme I found on the R&R conspiracy theory that just gives a quick compare and contrast between the Freemasons and the Illuminati. The Freemasons don't have power locally, bunch of creepy guys like children, renting their buildings out because they can't keep them secret. Meanwhile, our Chad Illuminati controls the entire world, conducts real rituals where they kill people, control the pedal rings, bunch of reptilians. And so like that's kind of like the cultural idea of these. We're gonna have some real talk now. So real talk, the Illuminati did die when that law passed. There are modern sects of the Illuminati that still exist that claim to have origins dating back to the OG Bavarian Illuminati. These claims are questionable, and the members use very selective doctrines, so they don't even like follow all of the things the Illuminati did. They aren't even secret because it hurts recruitment.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they're kind of just lame frat boys, unsadly. And based on some certain files, we don't need a secret society. You can apparently just do that shit. So yeah. Modern conspiracies. So then that kind of leads us into the question of the Illuminati was a real historical group. They were Enlightenment era and shit like that. So what is the deal? Like why? What are some conspiracies we have? I kind of split this into two sections too. Like, why are they still talked about? So, anti-Semitism mostly. Oops. We have our most anti-Semitic award winner of 2019 pictured here.
Congratulations!
What?
Not been more awards given out since 2019. Is that the latest?
I just figured that since we had a guest of honor, I should include his year.
I'm the most anti-Semitic 7 years running, is what they're selling you.
Yeah. So
was 7 years
the main
ago.
reason the Illuminati like became a thing, despite dying and not having a lot of members and all this other shit, is in the 1800s. There's two major texts. I don't want to get in the weeds with them, that spread wildly that are just crazy anti-Semitic, which is really interesting because the Illuminati were German Catholics mostly.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
The main reason, and also the Freemasons were also roped in with this as well. So the Freemasons also had, the texts were about them and the Illuminati, and that's also why the Freemasons are still really well known today. The Illuminati is used as a dog whistle the same way globalists and the bankers are used. So a lot of the time in online discussion, instead of saying like slurs, people will say the Illuminati.
Jesus.
So they're not actually
that's
being
facts.
directly blamed for stuff, while being directly blamed for stuff.
Right.
Racism combined with the honestly dope name give them a really strong pop culture presence. And then lastly, this is kind of the weird end note. So in the 1960s, this guy Robert Wilson and Carrie Thornley, they write some books about the Illuminati that are basically the modern version of it. So like the evil cabal of like weird rituals and the evil eye and shit. That's from these guys in the 1960s, where one review called it an LSD fueled like nightmare trip. So you have the anti-Semitic texts, and then in the 1960s, these guys write this book, and then it kind of brings it back, but in kind of the more modern way that we think of it today, while still being anti-Semitic as fuck. So here are some various accomplishments that our organization has done. I've split it into old ass conspiracies and modern conspiracies. The Illuminati did the French Revolution was actually the first Illuminati conspiracy, which actually kind of low key they did. So all these Enlightenment era secret societies, because the government started making them illegal, that's actually what caused the uprisings. Because the people in them started freaking out because they were like about to be executed and stuff. So one of the reasons for the French Revolution actually likely, well, not directly the Illuminati, they did kind of make it happen, which is funny. Apparently they influenced the election of Thomas motherfucking Jefferson in the 1800s. That is something
I've heard that one.
people claim the Illuminati did. And they were used as a scapegoat by conservative groups of the time. So anytime anything happened they didn't like, the conservative groups of the 1800s would go, the fucking Illuminati did it again. Which, not a lot's changed in 200 years.
Yeah, clearly not.
More modern conspiracies. Obviously, they killed JFK. The New World Order, I'm not going to get too in the weeds on this, but the New World Order is essentially what we think of as the modern, like, Illuminati conspiracy, but it's a lot fucking more than that, and I don't want to get in the weeds. Needless to say, it's this big umbrella conspiracy that says the U.S. Is run by shadow elites instead of corporations somehow. I'm not really sure how that works. QAnon blames the Illuminati for a lot. So, like, a bunch of QAnon conspiracies blame them for all sorts of bullshit. Bunch of modern known secret societies are actually just feed-ins to the Illuminati. This is one of my favorite theories. So the Illuminati is real, and like the Illuminati they think is real, and actually like secret societies that are like for example, like Yale has a couple, like a famous secret society, the Boys Club fraternity at Yale, that is a known secret society, recruits members from that secret society to then join the real Illuminati that actually runs the world. They also covered up aliens, maybe. That's another thing that gets talked about.
Well,
the Illuminati is why we don't know about aliens.
So the Illuminati are the people who
pretty accomplished group here.
Mason, what's your guy's name?
What guy?
What?
The Mason, your guy.
Oh, Preston Nichols?
The Illuminati wiped Preston Nichols' memory.
Yeah, they did.
To cover up the pyramids on Mars, dude.
Dude, is Mark Hamill in the Illuminati?
No.
It's all connected.
No comment.
Probably.
I'm not allowed to talk about members.
That's why he shows up?
So I actually in all of this was like, what do these people actually fucking believes? Like, what did the Bavarian Illuminati actually believe in? So here's your answer. They're kind of actually based as fuck. They're extremely anti-authoritarian. They have this term called perfectibilis, which is terrible, but the core concept of it was that people can improve their moral and intellectual character through excellent education. So they were really big on like investing in education, scholarship, and science. And believed that that was the way to like move forward as a society. Reason is greater than religion. They straight up wanted to overthrow the Catholic Church. They did like believe in God and were Protestants, but they wanted to like fully get rid of it. They thought that the church was a bad influence, and they thought that science and reason were the future, and that we needed to take God out of the equation and still believe in him. But like fucking like just overthrow everything. Now here's my favorite part. So that earlier conspiracy about the modern Illuminati stealing people from other groups, those people don't know that there's a historical precedent for that. So actually the real Bavarian Illuminati, what they did is they went to Freemason meetings and then went up to Freemasons and were like, hey, so here's my secret society. And it's like a secret society on top of a secret society. So being in the Illuminati meant that you were a Freemason who was deemed cool enough to join the even secreter society.
That's awesome.
So it's like a two-tiered system of secret societies. I just thought that was really fucking sick. And a lot of like the Illuminati like leaders that came out actually were like high top-end Freemasons who were pretending to still be Freemasons while being in the Illuminati. Pretty sick.
That's cool.
So just some general conclusions. So a mostly Christian organization gets lumped in with the Jewish community, and it persists because of anti-Semitism. While they wanted to overthrow the church, oops. They actually kind of, honestly, I think the real history of the Illuminati is actually pretty interesting, and they have very interesting beliefs for the time. The modern-ass Illuminati theories, they all kind of suck. The Illuminati are real, just not really how popular culture would have you believe it. And the secret societies are generally really fucking goofy, because if we know about a society, they're not fucking secret.
It's true.
And they mostly just exist as like these weird fraternities where you like basically like navel gaze at each other and go, you want to talk about fucking philosophy, Tony? Like that is the energy. I'm gonna like if I was in the Illuminati, which I am, I would go up to Raz and be like, hey Raz, you want to talk about fucking dialectics today? And like that would be the conversation that would be had. So you know, they don't plan. Most of them don't really plan the end of the world, at least at the time. They maybe helped with the French Revolution and other stuff, though, indirectly. Special thanks to Pixie, who sat on my lap while I made this presentation. Took a good picture of her there. And any questions? Yeah.
This is an excellent cat.
Oh, thank you. Pixie's great.
I like this cat. It's a good
My
one.
cat kind of
She's
looks
a
like
good
he's
one.
taking
Good
a
cat.
shit on
It's a
some
good cat.
clothes right now. So
Uh-oh.
I can't say my cat. I'm gonna go check on that really quick.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any
Well, while
questions?
Mason is gone, I need another drink.
Any questions, Toby?
I don't have any questions other than that the Bavarians were also anti-Semitic, and it just went that long. That's that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a deeply just anti-Semitism is just deeply rooted in Germanic culture. Seemingly, that's interesting.
Well, what's weird is actually like the Bavarian stuff themselves. Like from what I can tell, the Illuminati were not an anti-Semitic organization at all. They were. They basically got lumped. They basically were like anti-Semitic groups used their name and like their reputation to further their own agendas, even though they literally didn't exist by that point.
That's I think the anti-authoritarian take church out of the equation of the decisions in life. I like that. That's
Dude, it's kind of like the like Church of Satan, where it's like it sounds bad, and then you like.
Then you're like
believe it, and you're like low key.
No, notably, they didn't actually want to like they still were
they
like
believe in
religious.
God. Yeah,
they liked God, and they were an offshoot of the Freemasons, which again were a weird cult that liked Bible stories and stuff. So it's not like they were non-believers. It was that they thought that the Catholic Church shouldn't control daily life the way it did, and they thought the church had too much power and too much influence, and they thought that like science and reason needed to like run the show basically. So that they actually did want to like their lofty goal was to try to overthrow the Catholic Church like as an establishment. So
Me too, TBA.
I was about to say I'm gonna get flack, but based.
yeah, no, I think
That's real.
honestly, I was reading about the real Illuminati, and I was like, these people are way fucking cooler than like
Yeah, I
conspiracy
thought they
theorists
would-
can handle. Like, I like too the progression of the Montag being like that shit didn't happen. The Hitler one being like plausible, and then mine just being like this is the real fucking history.
Yeah.
like this shit actually did happen. Notably, the things that they were conspiratorially blamed for, other than kind of the French Revolution, indirectly, they didn't have any part in. And they paid me to say that. So,
Oh yeah,
and that's the end of my presentation.
And get your bag.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, we've got one more left, and he specifically requested to be left for last. So my overlay's fucked now, but Raz is next. Bye.
Ready.
All right, finish us off, Raz.
Guys, it's okay. I have a confession before we begin, and this is in the beginning, and so I'm glad that we're recording. We've had this assignment for about a month. It's been a rough month for me, and the truth is,
Yes, yeah.
I mentioned in the chat the other day, I did kind of struggle with this one. There's a whole for a multitude of reasons, and so just bear that in mind as we continue. Cool.
I'm about to get the best presentation of the day, and it's not going to be.
No.
Yeah, like, come on now.
Wrong. So you can read. Right now we're talking about Harold Wilson. Harold Wilson, this guy. Bam. Harold Wilson was the Prime Minister of Great Britain. Shout out Great Britain. He was the Queen's favorite Prime Minister. Shout out this guy. And you may be wondering, Rez, why are you telling me about a British Prime Minister? Who cares about the British?
It's a valid question.
This is not rhetorical. Anyone?
I don't care.
Correct.
The Irish
No
care,
one
but like
cares
in the
about
bad
the
way.
British. No one cares about the
Yeah,
British.
fuck you, Phoenix.
And that's on God. And you know what? I don't give a fuck about the British.
No, Cap.
This guy? Talk about this fucking guy, this British guy. I don't give a fuck about the British. Are you kidding? You want me to come on here and be like, here's why this thing is true. Shut up. You want me to tell you something that's true? Birds aren't real? True. Bush did 9/11? True. Lizard people control the world? True. I don't care about things that just are true, and I don't care about the British. You know what I do care about? This guy.
What?
Any
William
recognizers? No. This is William Afton.
Okay.
Or is it?
Also, Mason cares so little about the British, he fucking left the room.
He left Mason.
Yeah, hold
Do I
on,
have to
hold on,
wait
hold
for
on.
him?
Yeah, hold on. Give us 1 second here. I think his cat is shitting on something.
I mean, I was in my flow state.
Alright. Gonna pop back in. My cat just peed on the floor, so
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna be occupied.
Okay.
All right.
Continue.
Anyway. So, on the left, we have Michael Afton. And on the right, we have William Afton.
Sure.
Allegedly. But what if they were the same? And actually, Springtrap was in fact not William Afton, but actually Michael Afton. This is a real conspiracy theory that many Five Nights at Freddy's fans had. Now, keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, this is a Five Nights at Freddy's 6 theory. Some of you may be saying, Raz, I saw the movie, and no, this was Springtrap. I saw him. That's William Afton. That's Springtrap. I saw it in the movie. The movie did not exist. So, be advised that we are looking at this from a FNAF 6 perspective. Anything after that doesn't count. Ultimate Custom Night didn't exist. Movies didn't exist. Lots of the games and shit, not real. We're not considering those. The second thing, I made this PowerPoint, and in the way where I was like, here's how I'm gonna talk through it conversationally, I did not write a script. So if I get desynced from the slides, you're just gonna have to bear with me.
I got desynced while having a script, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so, first, we need some context, right? This is Henry Emily. Henry Emily has one daughter, Charlotte. Charlotte dies, possesses the puppet.
Sure.
We all follow?
Yep, I'm following.
Great. Henry Emily is the co-founder of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The other co-founder, William Afton, classic guy. William Afton fucks way more than Henry Emily. He has 3 children. This guy, one of the only characters in the entire franchise to still not have an official canon name. This is the crying child. He does not have a name. Never been identified. Unlike his second child, his daughter, Elizabeth, and his third child, Michael.
Okay.
Michael will be the focal point of this presentation, obviously, but the fates of these characters are relevant, so we have to go over them. We actually do know what happens to all of these characters. Crying Child, bit. This is not the bite of 87. If you've seen the Markiplier clip.
Okay, so back up to the 3 children.
Right. So, speaking of dying, they all do that.
Yes.
Kind of. We'll get there. So, we're introduced to the vast majority of these characters in Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. So in sister location, you go to a place called Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rentals, which used to be Circus Baby's Pizza World, until this happened, and then William shut the whole thing down, and then turned it into Entertainment and Rentals.
Okay.
So, with that said, in sister location, you play as Michael Afton. We know this because, A, he says it in a clip that we'll watch later, and he puts his name tag on hand unit, which is a thing that also I'll put a picture of on the screen later. And what happens in sister location is Baby, this animatronic, you might recognize her from a 2D thing that we saw a second ago.
Sure.
She is telling him what to do, and you're following Baby's instructions because you don't want to die, and the things that she's telling you sounds like the way that you don't die. The problem is, it's not baby. Like, the whole time, it's not. Actually, it's this guy, Ennard. The baby that you're hearing is actually him. Ennard is an amalgamation of all of the Funtime animatronics. Baby, of course, but also Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy. And the Bonnie hand puppet kind of, whether or not they're separate or not is strange. They're effectively the same. But what happens is, these 4 robots exist, and they're kept in Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. They get rented out to private parties. Problem, they don't get treated very well down there. The first thing you do in the game when you go down there, the guy is like, let's give them a controlled shock. So it's like not very cool down there. They get experimented on. It's not a very fun or good time. So they decide, naturally, I gotta get out of here.
Sure.
So they put themselves into one amalgamation guy, Ennard, and they say, we're going to use this body to leave. However, you may have noticed something about Ennard. Anyone noticing this?
I'm noticing that he doesn't have skin and is terrifying.
Correct. That is absolutely right. He's ugly, he's terrifying, he's a robot, and if I saw this fucking guy walking around outside, I would shit my pants.
Yeah.
So, he guides you through the sister location game, and then he takes you to this room. This is called the scooping room. And what happens is, this thing in the center of the screen, he talks to you for a while, he says, we can't go outside when we look like this. It's a whole thing, I'm not going to play the clip, but it scoops out your insides, and then Ennard goes into your skin and wears you like a skin suit to go outside and to escape the place. Very cool.
Yes, Mason.
And
what the fuck did I come back to?
Yeah, so I was going to comment, you left during the Prime Minister being a KGB spy and who hates the British, and then you came back and were knee-deep in a FNAF theory. I like...
Yeah, I have no clue.
We're doing a FNAF theory. We're doing a game theory. So Michael Afton and William Afton are the same person. That's what we're working towards right now.
Well, technically, the theory that we're working towards is that Michael Afton is Springtrap and William Afton is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like it's right. So right. So your insides this is the canon ending of this game.
Sure.
Your insides get scooped out, Ennard wears you like a skin suit and gets to go outside. Very cool. For some reason Ennard keeps going to work, and after you do the custom nights, you get to see this. Here's Michael, Ennard inside him, wearing his body like a skin suit, walks down the street. Does anybody notice any theoretical issues with this plan?
He's a fucking walking skin suit. He's gonna rot.
You know what, Ryan? You're so right. That's what happens. And as you can tell, he's not looking so hot. This is about halfway through these cutscenes. And then eventually he starts to look like this. So you might be seeing where this theory was born on account of he's purple, which is not the color that you want to be.
The purple.
In these
I
games.
can't see it.
What?
I can't.
What
see
do you mean you
purple,
can't see
Raz.
it? Oh, because you're colorblind. You scared me so bad. He's purple in this picture, is what I'll tell you. And which is not the color that you want to be in Five Nights at Freddy's. That's the bad color. But
Good.
It's also bad because when you're trying to like pass off as a regular guy, this is not what you want to look like. So Ennard abandons ship. He hops out the skin suit and goes into the sewer and is like, hey, good luck. And then something strange happens where instead of being dead, like you would be if you were a skin suit, he's not. Which is not normal. You can see Ennard and all of his animatronic eyes down in the sewer, so that you know I'm not pulling the wool over your eyes. Baby is like, you won't die, and then she's right, he doesn't. And now he is actually, literally, canonically, in universe, purple. So, people are like, well, what if? Right? So, with all of that context out of the way, let's get into the theory. First, we have to take a look at the guy himself, Springtrap. We're a little far away, so we have to get up in there. This is Springtrap. It's all zoomed in. Anybody noticing anything missing? Fair.
Yeah.
Springtrap has no bones. And so a big part of this theory is, well, of course he doesn't have bones. The guy who's in there, Michael Afton, not William Afton, has no bones because his insides got scooped out. And so now he has no bones, and Springtrap has no bones. We see what I'm putting down here. Tremendous. Next, this is the clip. It's a minute. It's the only one that I'm playing for you guys, but it is important. This is the other way that we know that we play as Michael in Sister Location, because this is a clip from Sister Location. But it's the only one we're going to watch. It's a minute. Please bear with me, but it is genuinely actually important.
I can't see anything.
You can't hear it?
There's nothing playing.
Is that what you're saying?
Is there supposed to be video?
No.
Okay.
It's black screen right now.
Oh,
it will
okay,
be
okay.
video in a moment.
Understood.
Right now it's
I
only
can hear
audio.
it.
Okay,
That's fine.
cool. Relevant. Michael looks like his dad enough that the animatronics thought he was William.
Oh, okay.
Relevant.
Yeah.
Proceeding. And there he is. Brightened up, right there, clear as crystal. He says, I'm going to come find you, and then he comes out coming to find him.
Sure.
No, that's not... Go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Next, look at this jump scare from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Does this look like a guy who's jumping at you to kill you, or does it look like a guy who kind of is just walking up to be like, hey, what's good?
He doesn't look like he's
has
murderous intent.
Exactly.
He'd be walking real fast for a guy who's just walking up to you, though.
Well, he's walking kind of fast, but it's not like so fast. And he kind of just like, you know? Also, this is a cutscene from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. No, just kidding. This is from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I'm stupid. These are the souls of the kids that got killed in the missing children's incident. 5 kids get killed. That's the missing children's incident. There's technically a 6th dead kid, which is Charlie. Charlie is not a part of this 5. He pulls apart the animatronics because they're haunted, and then the spirits come out. And look at how surprised he is. William Afton wouldn't be so surprised that there are ghosts. He knows that there are ghosts, I guess. And then this is before. The way that these mini games work, you play one every night. You play as one animatronic. You try to go into this room, but you can't, and then he comes out and takes the animatronic apart. And so this is the room right before that. I would consider these animatronics tampered with. Anyone agree?
Sure.
Excellent. So in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, you get fired for tampering with the animatronics and odor. You know who would smell bad enough to get fired for smelling really bad?
A skin suit.
A walking skin suit.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
correct. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, guess what? You get fired for what? Tampering with the animatronics and odor. So true. Coincidence? I think not, because in the very first game, you play as a guy named Mike, and in the second game, you get fired for the exact same reason as you did in the first game. Coincidence? I think not. So, finally, the final piece of evidence. This is Scrap Trap, which is Springtrap but in Five Nights at Freddy's 6. Now look at Springtrap from regular Five Nights at Freddy's 3. These are clearly not the same character, so they're not the same. So one of the theories is that Michael Afton is in Springtrap and William Afton is in Scrap Trap. So that's all the evidence. Call me the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 box, because this shit is locked up. However, sharp-minded viewers might be remembering this slide, where I said, I didn't come on here just to tell you that a thing that is true, and yet I just spent the whole last, 5-10 minutes telling you about a thing that, is true. Plot twist. This shit is dumb as hell. And you might be saying, yeah, I know that it's dumb as hell. I watched the movie. Just kidding. I got ahead of myself. I watched the movie. It's like, I know that it's not him. Of course it's dumb. But the argument that I'm making is that it was dumb even when it was invented. It's always been stupid. I hate this shit. It's dumb as fucking rocks. So, let's rewind. First, Springtrap. This is Springtrap. Anybody noticing anything that is present?
I see some kind of bone structure in there.
True. That's a spine. Now, we'll get into it in a second, but the Springlock suits are designed to be both animatronics and suits. They have a bunch of spring locks. The things that you see in his chest, those are spring locks.
Yeah.
They're made of metal. What spring locks do is they come out and the animatronic parts are out and they make the suit operate as an animatronic on its own. But then you can crank them in and it compresses them against the walls so that a human can fit in there. You can't do that with a full spine. And on top of that, there's guts in here. I can see, his veins and muscles and shit. You know who wouldn't have veins and muscles and shit? A guy who got all of his insides scooped out. Are you serious? Please be so for real. Also, the phone guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I couldn't get this to animate correctly, so it's just all going to be on screen at once. The phone guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 goes over a bunch of information. I will keep this brief. First, in the second night, he says we have 2 specially designed suits that double as both animatronics and suits. In night 3, he goes over safe rooms. The safe room is a room that is off camera, is invisible to animatronics, isn't on the floor plan, and so it's for employees to go into, if they're injured or what have you. He doesn't really super explain what the purpose is, but it is important that cameras can't see them, animatronics can't see them. Night 4, the company has deemed the suits unfit for employees, and those classic suits are being retired. Relevant. Night 5, he talks about the missing children's incident happens. He says management has been informed that the Spring Bonnie suit has been noticeably moved. The Spring Bonnie suit is the Springtrap suit, which William Afton uses to kill the 5 children that I mentioned earlier in the missing children's incident. That's why the suit has been moved. In night 6, they say safe rooms aren't cool. We're sealing them off. We're putting a false wall in front of the door. We're not looking inside. Anything that's inside is trapped in there forever, so don't leave anything in there. We're blocking off the room, and that's the end of it. So, these two, the idea that people were like, oh, they're different characters, dumb as fuck. First of all, clearly the same character. The ears are the same. The body, obviously, the Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is a lot bulkier than the guy on the left. But it's like the fucking pelvis structure thing is the same. The fucking, like, the number of fingers is the same. People consider that kind of thing a lot when talking about theories. Like, these guys are the same. And he said they have 2 specialty suits. These are the 2 suits here. One of them is Spring Bonnie on the right. On the left, a different suit. There are not 2 Spring Bonnie suits. They don't exist. There's only one. There is no way that there would be 2 suits, because why would they discontinue the suits and then just make another one? For fun, I guess? And you might be thinking, well, maybe the guy on the left is just like an insert, and maybe it is just like a second Spring Bonnie suit. That guy might not even be important. Really? That guy might not be important? Who knows this guy?
I do. I know him.
Correct. Everybody knows this fucking guy. That's Golden Freddy. You're gonna tell me Golden Freddy not that important? Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid as hell. And so it's like, there was something that I was going to question when I put this in here because it pissed me the hell off. But it's like, this shit doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm talking about sister location. What's the next thing? Okay, right. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, we have to talk about the novels.
Oh god, we're getting in the novels.
Briefly. It's just for a second, I promise. But how do we know about William Afton and Michael Afton in the first place? Because all the way through Five Nights at Freddy's 4, nobody had a name at all. So this game, Sister Location, the opening cutscene, someone is talking to the designer of the Funtime animatronics. They call him William Afton. Where do we know the name William Afton from? The books. In the books, they introduce William Afton. They introduce Henry Emily, the co-founder of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and the other co-founder, William Afton. And in the books, they reveal that William Afton is, no bonus points if you guess it right, Springtrap. I'm not gonna phone over. It's really not that hard, guys. And we fired for tampering with the animatronics. This, allegedly, according to this theory, this is Michael Afton. He's the purple guy, and he's purple because he's a rotting skin suit. And in the screen before this, like, first of all, oh my god, I forgot to even mention this. Don't even get me fucking started on, oh, he's so surprised William Afton would know that there are ghosts. How? Not once do the ghosts ever act independently of the suits. Even if he knows that the suits are haunted, he has no reason to believe that the ghosts will get out of the suits and come and chase him just like as ghosts, not even possessing anything. Oh, he's so surprised. That means he has to be Michael. You sound dumb as fucking rocks right now. And in the screen before this screen, we see the animatronics pulled apart. This is tampering with the animatronics, except that makes it hard for him to get fired for tampering with the animatronics if he gets locked in the safe room in this scene. He gets locked in the safe room, and then they're like, oh, you're fired? Who are you presenting this to? He's locked in the safe room. And we know that it's the safe room because Phone Guys tells us. And here's the order of events. Missing children's incident happens. Then they seal up this Springtrap, gets spring-trapped in the safe room. And so this theory makes no fucking sense to me personally. But like because he says, right? Night 2, here are the suits. Night 3 talks about the safe rooms. Night 4, Spring Bonnie suit gets moved. That's the missing children's incident. Night 5, rooms get sealed. So they happen in very quick succession. And so again, the guy can't be coming to work if he's locked in the fucking walls. So the allegation is that this purple guy, who is purple in the game, is the same as the purple guy that we've known since, like, the second fucking game. Except
Wait, I have a
he
question.
can't be. Yes.
Does the
Yes,
purple
go
guy
ahead.
have any relation to Grimace?
No.
Okay.
I have another question. Oh,
Yes.
they're both fucking blue.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Ryan, you're colorblind. You're colorblind.
They also, I will say, they don't look like the same shade. I don't know if they're actually the same shade. To
They're
your guys'
not.
eyes.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not. But we can go further beyond that, because we know that this guy on the left is Michael Afton. We saw it. That's 100%. The guy on the right's identity is, according to, if we're giving credence to this theory, in question. But they cannot be the same. And here's why. In Five Nights at Freddy's 6, you play a game called Midnight Motorist. In Midnight Motorist, you can pull off of the road that you're driving on for the game and activate a cutscene minigame type thing where you're driving this car. It's hard to tell because it's dark and it's rainy, but this car is, Ryan, I'm saying this for you, this car is purple. And we know that William Afton drives a purple car because we see his car, this car, in 5 Laps at Freddy's, which is a Five Nights at Freddy's racing game. Yes, it's real. I promise you can look it up.
That car's blue.
The car's purple.
Anyway, you park the car, you get out of the car. You might be saying, that can't be purple guy, that guy is yellow or orange, whatever. I think he's yellow, whatever. Wrong. He's going to his house. Where have we seen this house before? A house with a pointed roof with one window, surrounded by trees in a clearing. Where have we seen this before? The title screen of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. We know in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 that we're playing in the purple guy's house as the purple guy's son, the crying child. We know that we play as the crying child. We know that we're in the house thanks to this overlay from Sister Location, where you can see, you guys don't have the maps from that game memorized, so I'll break it down for you. In the top left, this is the path from the house to Freddy's. In the bottom left, this is the plush trap hallway, which is a minigame from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And in the top right, this is the layout of the room in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. But we could get even more explicit from that because he has cameras monitoring those exact places. The top one being the room at large and the closet. The bottom left being Springtrap hallway, and the bottom right being the bed from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So we know that that is the purple guy's house. So he goes inside and he sees this guy in gray sitting on the couch watching TV. Who do we know who wears gray and speaks in gray text font? Michael Afton. The guy in the Foxy mask, that's Michael Afton. He's the older brother of the crying child, which is Michael Afton. And so, which is to say, the crying child is the crying child. He has an older brother. The older brother is Michael Afton. The guy in the Foxy mask is the older brother. They're the same. He talks in gray. He has a gray shirt. That's not the only comparison we can make. Who else do we know who sits on the couch and watches TV? The guy we play as in Sister Location. This is what he does between nights. We know who we play as in Sister Location. It's Michael Afton. So, and this is Hand Unit. I mentioned him. He's labeled Mike. Who's Mike? Michael Afton. He's the only guy. There's like 10 billion ways that this is him.
Yeah, I see.
Right. So, the Mustard Man is the purple guy. Which, right. So, right. If the purple guy is the orange guy, cool. So we've established the orange guy's identity, which is important because this minigame is titled Later That Night in the game's files. That's the name of this cutscene. Later which night? Later this night. This is Charlie getting killed outside of the pizzeria. The puppet comes outside because it's specifically tasked with keeping her safe. It comes outside. She's dead. It gives her like a hug. And then she possesses the puppet. That's how it happens. It's hard to see because it's dark, but if you look in the bottom right of this image, there's tire tracks. Who was driving away from the scene of this murder? The purple guy. You might be saying that feels like a little bit of a stretch, but it's not. We have seen this event before in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is the take cake minigame. What happens? The purple guy pulls up in his purple car outside of the pizzeria. There's a kid outside the pizzeria. Kill, kill, kill. Drives away. This minigame always ends in the puppet jump scare because this is the death of Charlie. These are the same event. So we know that in this cutscene, in Midnight Motorist, we know that orange guy is purple guy who's just come back from killing Charlie, which means the purple guy can't be Henry because Henry, oh my god, I'm losing my fucking mind over here. The purple guy can't be Michael because Michael is sitting at home watching TV. And this, first of all, I'm making a different point with this image, but you're telling me that he popped out because, oh, that's the guy talking, saying I'm gonna come find you? Are you dumb as fuck? Don't answer that question. The answer is yes. What is actually happening is he's like, I'm gonna come find my dad, and then they're like, he's not dead. This is where he is, and he survived the fire in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. But also keep in mind that, right. The FNAF 3 was supposed to be the finale of the entire series. And so if we're facing off against Michael Afton and not William Afton, the guy who kills people, then it's like for why? We don't ever get to have a showdown with the guy who's actually the antagonist of this series. They just go here, fight his son, and then he like fucks off somewhere. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna come find you. If he's in Springtrap, where did his fucking dad go? You're telling me he's just like, oh, William Afton just like killed a bunch of kids and then disappeared. Do we think that Scott is the worst storyteller of all time? Are we dumb? And so it's like it doesn't make any sense narratively for the finale of the entire fucking series to just be against a guy. And if this is Michael, then who are we playing as in this game? Just like some fucking rando? Like, please, can we be serious, please? And this is the most damning piece of evidence in FNAF World, which came out in between Sister Location and FNAF 6, you can meet Purple Guy, this guy, and he says this. Don't confuse me with the actual Purple Guy. I'm just a game sprite. Michael Afton is literally in-universe purple because he's a skin suit. This guy is not actually purple. The games that he was depicted in have Atari-style art, and the background is black. They need to depict a character who's like shadowy and unknown. They can't use black because that's the background, so they made him purple because they had to. It's just a game sprite. It's not that serious. But what do I fucking know? The reason that I wanted to talk about this is because the lore of these games is purposely what? There's supposed to be a question mark here. The lore of these games is purposely confusing. It's messy and it's complicated. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I thought that I was getting messages that I wasn't actually in the call anymore. Whoops.
That would have been really funny.
Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the lore is complicated and messy, kind of on purpose. And so, because when I was looking at actual real-life conspiracy theories, the problem that I was coming across was that it felt like every one of them that I could find was either this is a thing that did literally happen, it was just like kept under wraps for a while, or I made it up. And so I was like, none of those things really interest me because they don't feel like conspiracy theories. It's either something that someone made up and is meaningless. Like there was one that was about some like Korean flight that crashed, and the conspiracy theory is that, oh, like they all got eaten by giant crabs, and it's like, okay, this isn't interesting. You just made it up. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. This is interesting to me because it can go either way. Obviously, I presented the information in the way that makes the most sense to me, but that doesn't have to be the way that makes the most sense to you. If fighting Michael Afton in what was supposed to be the series finale feels narratively satisfying to you, then that piece of evidence is useless. If you don't, if the questionable canonicity of the books makes you think that, oh, when William is revealed as Springtrap in the books mean nothing, then, like, that's fair. If you think, some people posit that the Mustard Man is not the purple guy, and the kid in the gray chair isn't Michael, and it's just a random group of people to convey the point that the things that are happening at Freddy's have an impact on, like, regular people who live in that place. Okay, I mean, that is not unreasonable. The cassettes in the phone calls in FNAF 3 are cassettes that the founder of Fazbear Frights finds. And so if you're like, oh, well, the cassettes are just, like, further apart than they are when you're just listening to all of them in succession, that makes sense to me. Sister Location, FNAF World is, like, strictly decanonized. And while I think that the point he's making here stands outside of the canonicity of that game, if you're like, no, it's not canon, that doesn't mean anything to me, okay, I understand that. And it's like, yeah, Springtrap is William in the movie, but the movie is a separate canon from the games. And so it's like, you can look at the information in a lot of different ways. Because there's so much information and so much feels like it conflicts with each other, you do kind of get to pick and choose what you think is real or not. You get to choose how you interpret the data that we're given. It's given to us in a vague way on purpose. So, ultimately, I don't actually know for sure. Because no one does. It's who fucking knows anything about anything in this game? In the end, the person who gets to decide the validity of the theory that Michael Afton and Purple Guy are the same is you. And that's my presentation. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Holy shit. Don't stop
don't
sharing
think I
yet.
know
Don't
enough
stop
about-
sharing yet.
Okay, I'm not stopping sharing.
So
I don't think I
fuck you
know
anyway.
enough about FNAF to, like, really process that, but that was a lot.
That was
Yeah,
very...
I had a lot of information.
Wow.
I have answers to questions if anyone has them.
I just want to clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy was a serial killer, right?
Yes.
He has three
He killed
children.
at least 6 children. Yes, correct.
He has 3 kids. One of them gets fucking eaten. And then
Well,
by
yeah,
the
sure.
animatronic.
He gets bit, but yeah.
And then another one becomes a skin suit man.
Yes,
And
correct.
then the other one is also died and possessed by an animatronic as well for like unrelated reasons.
No. So that one, okay, so
We don't have to get into
is-
details with it. It just clarifying. So this guy has 3 kids.
Yes,
2 of
they
them
all
are
died.
animatronics, and then one of them
Uh-huh.
is a skin suit zombie man.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So William knows that it is a lot. The Bite of 83 is like kind of the inciting incident. It's unclear where things take place around it in the timeline, but that's at the end of FNAF 4, which is where we see the Bite of 83. William tells the crying child, his son, he says, I will put you back together. Very vague what that means. It's a very important line in the franchise. No one knows what the fuck he's talking about. But he likely does know that the FNAF 1 animatronics are haunted by the children that he killed. And so the Funtime animatronics, in the opening cutscene of Sister Location, they say there are some design choices that we were weirded out by, basically. And those design choices are that the animatronics automatically track parents and mimic parental voices. They have like containment zones inside of them that are like made to fit children into, amongst other weird things. And so the idea is he builds the Funtime animatronics so that they will abduct children that he can experiment on to figure out how the initial robots got haunted, so that maybe he can figure out a way to bring his son back to life. The problem is that he has a daughter, Elizabeth, who is like, I want to go hang out with baby, and he says, you can't do that. She will abduct you and you will die. And then she doesn't listen to him. She goes to hang out with baby, and then exactly that happens. So that's why her whole thing is kind of like different feeling.
Okay. I am afraid to ask any more questions, so...
Yeah.
Well, if you do, I have the answer. I can promise you that much.
What a shift from the previous ones.
Yeah, my
I
bad.
want to comment that at one point, Raz, you said, it's not that serious, and I put it in quotes because this was the most intense presentation of the day.
Yeah, the rest of
I was
us
very passionate about
the rest of us were like just presenting something. This is like your life for this, like...
Yeah. It's my hyperfixation. What can I say?
Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it for us.
Excellent.
Thank you all for watching. This is Ryan and Mboz, two beautiful men with some beautiful conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming on. We really appreciated it.
Of course.
And
fun.
I will get this out after I'm done with my stuff today. So we will end it here. Let us know down below which one you liked the most. And make any comments, questions, whatever. Pick it apart. That's what the comment section is there for. And we will see you in the next one, which is probably the next episode, anywhere between 1 to 3 months. You know, that's just kind of how that works.
Yeah.
And we will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.